Obtain a talent at the beginning that can strengthen all things. Stone Monkey Statue, Enhancement +5, equals Lingming Stone Monkey Rotten Peach Blossom, Enhancement +7, equals Ren Shui Pan Peach Tree Starry Sky Grass, Enhancement +7, equals Starry Fruit Tree Breaking Wood Sword, Enhancement +7, equals Zhu Xian Sword White Gourd, Enhancement +7, equals Slaying Immortal Flying Dagger The Destitute Girl, +8. Equals the peerless empress. When others were still wearing tattered equipment, the man was already covered in top-notch innate spiritual treasures. Keywords of the novel. National Lord. I can strengthen all things without pop-ups, National Lord. I can strengthen all things. Download the complete text, National Lord. I can strengthen all things. Read the latest chapters. Chapter 1. Opening of Tianhu. You are listening at Novel Full.audio. Chapter 1. The beginning of Tianhu. Is this my territory? Gu Changsheng looked around. The territory is located on a plain, with a winding river not far away. There is a wooden fence over 1 meter high around the perimeter of the territory, and a door opens on the east side of the fence. There is nothing in the territory except for him. Gu Changsheng is not surprised, as mentioned in these textbooks. He was a young man from Earth in his previous life, who accidentally traveled to this extraordinary world. Here, when people reach the age of 18, they will be entheft by mysterious forces and obtain their exclusive territory. Those with good family conditions will receive various support from their family or parents and develop rapidly. Those with poor family conditions can only rely on themselves for survival. Gu Changsheng was an orphan from a young age and has been living in a lord's territory, working hard for him to survive. I happen to be 18 years old today and was assigned my own territory. If the territory develops well, he can break free from the fate of working hard. If the development is not good, it can be as mild as continuing to work as a laborer, or as severe as destroying one's life and death. The territory is newly born, and the governor should be arriving soon. Gu Changsheng murmured softly. As soon as his words fell, a slight wave came from the void in front of him, and a pink-carved and jade-carved girl walked out of the void. He. I have seen Lord Longyue before, and from now on, I will be Lord's exclusive political officer. Lord, you can command me anything you want. The girl was around 5 or 6 years old, delicate like a porcelain doll, clever and cute. She gave Gu Changsheng a sweet smile and circled around him happily. Gu Changsheng was surprised to find that the political officials in the territory where he had previously worked were a leprous dog. It seems that I have good luck. Bu Zhengguan is actually a small doubting who can communicate. Your name is Nongyue, right? Yes, Lord, you can ask me to play with the moon or the moon. The little girl smiled sweetly, her agile eyes curved into crescent moon, and Gu Changsheng's heart was about to be turned over. How old are you this year? Reaching out and touching her head, Gu Changsheng smiled and asked. I'm 5 years old. Lord, please give me permission to place the Divine Guardian Tower first. Otherwise, we'll be finished if there are other races attacking the city later. Gu Changsheng was stunned for a moment before he regained his senses. He looked eagerly at Nongyue and said, will you still place the Divine Guardian Tower? Yes, duh. Nongyue looked up at him, squinting her small eyes and smiling sweetly. The Divine Guardian Tower belongs to the city defense building, and the newly born territory comes with a Divine Guardian Tower, which can usually only be placed by the Lord himself. Placing the Guardian Tower only takes 2 to 3 seconds, but once placed, it takes a long time to move. The leprous dog Bu Zhengguan in Gu Changsheng's previous territory knew nothing but observing stars. In fact, it's not just the leprous dog that is like this. As far as Gu Changsheng knows, most lords only have the ability to observe the stars and supervise the farming of their people. He had never heard of a political official like Nongyue, who could independently place the Divine Guardian Tower. Whenever a territory is born, it is inevitable that foreign tribes will invade. In the early stage, when there were no troops and the Lord's hands were powerless, the city defense building, the Guardian Tower, became an important reliance for the Lord's life. The Divine Guardian Tower is crucial, and Gu Changxing did not rashly grant it permission to Nongyue. Buzhenguan has an independent personality. Although they will not betray their territory, not all Buzhenguan are intelligent. Especially when Nongyue is only 5 years old, Gu Changxing is even more afraid to give her permission. He still knows too little about this little girl now. If she falls off the chain at a critical moment, he will only have a dead end. Let's talk about it later. I'll awaken my talent first. Anyway, it's only a matter of seconds to place the Divine Guardian Tower. Even if an alien attack comes, it's not too late to place it again after owning their own exclusive territory. People only need to connect their consciousness with the territory to awaken their innate abilities. The quality of talent and ability completely depends on fate. Gu Changxing calmed down and tried to connect his consciousness with the territory beneath him. Quickly, he felt the heavy aura of the territory. At the same time, a light lit up at the center of his eyebrows, and a burning sensation began to spread throughout his body. A few seconds later, Gu Changxing's body shook, and something similar to a property panel appeared in his mind. Name: Gu Changxing. Identity: Lord of Territory Number 0073641003521. Race: Human life. 1872. Bloodline: Fan Realm. 1 level of the Mortal Realm cultivation. 0 to 1 year mind method. None Taoism. None talent. Primordial source. Can use origin points to strengthen any creature/item. Items: Random Guardian Tower Construction Scroll, *1, Random Barracks Construction Scroll, *1. Territory information. Territory owner: Gu Changxing. Territory number: 0073641003521. Territory level: Fan. Territory level: 1 origin point. 100. Explanation 1. A point of origin can be extracted from the void every hour for storage. Explanation 2. The spiritual energy index of the first level territory is 1. Note: Cultivation equals cultivation duration * cultivation environment spiritual energy index * mental skill bonus. Explanation 3. You can use the territory's Jinjie stone to elevate it. Explanation 4. After upgrading, the speed of origin point extraction can be accelerated. Upgrading requires 0/1000 of the origin point. 1 is his own information, and the other is information about his territory. The original source of talent can consume the origin point to strengthen all things, appearing very powerful. Just as he was thinking about how to use this talent specifically, his vision changed. All objects have an extra plus sign on them, including themselves. When he consciously touched the plus sign on himself, a character came to mind. Does it consume 100 points of origin point enhancement for Guan Changxing? After enhancement, his bloodline will be promoted to 1 level. 100 points of origin can elevate one's bloodline to 1 level. Gu Changxing's eyes were filled with disbelief. You should know that in this world, bloodlines belong to things that are extremely difficult to advance to. The bloodline ranks from low to high are mortal, desolate, mysterious, spiritual, divine, and immortal. The flow of innate Tao body belongs to the immortal level bloodline. Under normal circumstances, it takes 1,000 years of cultivation to transform from a mortal bloodline to a barren bloodline, and even more so, it takes 10,000 years of cultivation to advance from a barren bloodline to a mysterious bloodline. Gu Changxing never expected that with such strict bloodline promotion conditions, he could easily achieve it with only 100 origin points. His breathing couldn't help but become rapid, and his handsome face flushed with excitement. After a while, he restrained his inner excitement and calmed down. Stay calm, if you get too excited, you'll lose a lot. After calming down, he pondered for a moment and didn't rush to add more to himself. He is still very clear about his own strength. Even if his bloodline has improved, he may not be able to resist the invasion of foreign tribes. Every point of origin in the early stages is crucial, and if used incorrectly, there will only be a dead end. His gaze touched the plus sign on the territory, and relevant information reappeared in his mind. Does it consume 100 origin points to strengthen territory? After strengthening, its level will be promoted to wasteland. The level classification of a territory is the same as the bloodline of a lord, both being mortal, desolate, mysterious, spiritual, divine, and immortal. As far as Gu Changxing knows, there is currently only one thing that can elevate the level of a territory. The territory Jin Terrace Stone. A piece of Jinjie stone from a common territory has a price of at least 10,000 yuan on the market, and there is still a high demand for it. But now he only needs 100 origin points to achieve the effect that can only be achieved with over 10,000 origin points. Don't talk about it and no one believes it. If he hadn't seen it with his own eyes, he wouldn't have believed it. It's too outrageous. At the age of 18, I am a cute new author with a new book. I hope everyone can support me. Kneeling down to collect and read recommended tickets, end of this chapter. Chapter 2. Territory. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Chapter 2 Territory. After the first level territory level is promoted to the wasteland level, the spiritual energy index will become 5, and the origin point for hourly absorption will also become 5. If there are no other races around, choosing to strengthen the territory is the best choice. However, now that his territory is newly established and there are foreign tribes surrounding him, any reinforcement that cannot directly enhance his combat power is not advisable. He gave up his plan to strengthen his territory. Lord, don't be in a daze. The alien race is about to attack. Hurry up and place the Divine Guardian Tower. Seeing that Gu Changxing had not granted him the authority to manage the Divine Guardian Tower and was still in a daze, Nong Yu was secretly anxious and quickly spoke out to remind him. Gu Changxing reached out and touched her head, saying with a smile, "Okay, I'll just place the Divine Guardian Tower." His gaze once again touched the moon, and information about the moon came to his mind. Name. Nong Yue, identity. 00736410033521 Territory Administrator Talent. Red Moon. All friendly units have a cultivation speed of plus 10% ability 1. Observing astrology. Able to accurately locate the birth location of treasures through observing astrology. Ability 2. Management of government affairs. Able to make reasonable plans for territorial buildings/roads/administration, etc. Ability 3. Urban defense expert. Can flexibly mobilize territorial troops and urban defense buildings for perfect defense. Note. Unauthorized and cannot be used if a territory is not destroyed or occupied. The governor belongs to an immortal existence. Of course, they belong to functional beings and do not possess any combat power. Usually, political officials only have the ability to observe celestial phenomena, and some may also have an additional administrative capability. Gu Changxing did not expect his political governor to have an additional talent and urban defense ability. He was pleasantly surprised. A 10% cultivation speed may not seem like much, but if the timeline is stretched long enough, the benefits it can bring are immeasurable. At present, Gu Changxing's realm is one level of the mortal realm. There are 9 levels in the mortal realm, and each level of improvement requires 1 year of cultivation. Above the mortal realm is the realm of cultivating qi, and above the realm of cultivating qi is the realm of building foundation. These realms are all 9 levels, and once you enter the qi cultivation realm, the cultivation required to improve the realm is counted in 10 years. The talent of playing the moon has great potential. Nong Yue also has a plus sign on her body. Whether to consume 10,000 origin points to enhance moonlight, the effect of the enhancement is unknown. Just to enhance the terrifying origin point required for this little girl, and the effect is still unknown. Do you have any secrets hidden in you that I don't know? Gu Changsheng asked her. No, why is Lord asking so? Nong Yue blinked her innocent big eyes and looked up at him. It's nothing, let's go and place the guardian tower. Gu Changsheng knew that there shouldn't be anything to ask from her mouth, so it would be better to build the divine guardian tower later. The guardian tower is a highly attacking city defense structure, and when a territory is first born, each person will receive a guardian tower construction scroll. After understanding the role of talent, it's time to start setting up the city defense. Otherwise, if there is a sudden attack from another tribe like what Nong Yu said, he will have to be in a hurry. Where do you think it's better to place the guardian tower? When Gu Changsheng asked this question, he naturally had the intention of taking the exam and being a moonmaker. He wanted to see how capable this political official was. The initial territory is a circle with a radius of 100 meters enclosed by a wooden fence, and usually the attack range of the guardian tower is also 100 meters, with firepower just enough to cover the newly formed territory. If the origin point within the territory is looted or the lord dies, the territory will be erased. The criteria for determining the plunder of the place of origin are very simple. Each invading alien only needs to enter the territory for 1 minute to draw some. So the placement of the guardian tower is crucial. Of course, in addition to the city defense building of the divine guardian tower, the newly formed territory also has another city defense building. The wooden fence. Don't underestimate this wooden fence, it plays the most important role in every city defense battle. Wooden fence. Level 1 Territorial Urban Defense Building Grade. Fan Function 1. Immortal. If the gate of the territory is not broken, it cannot be damaged. Function 2. Forbidden. Will apply a state of forbidden space. No flying and forbidden area. No earth escape, to creatures/units that pass over/below them and have bloodlines/levels no higher than the wooden fence. Note. The domain gate will be destroyed and will no longer function. The ability of a wooden fence can be described as incredibly strong. The territory gate mentioned in the introduction of the wooden fence is also extraordinary. It is located on the east side of the wooden fence, and when Gu Changsheng's gaze falls on the territory gate, his information also comes to mind. Territory gate. Level 1 Territory City Defense Building Grade. Fan Durability. 100 out of 100. Function 1. Hard Armor. Each attack reduces durability by 10 to the power of n points. Note. N is the difference between the level of territory gate and the attacker. Function 2. Rebirth. Automatically restores within 24 hours after being destroyed. The domain gate is also very powerful. If attacked by a target of the same level, it will reduce durability by 1 point each time. If attacked by a target of 1 level higher, it will reduce durability by 10 points each time. However, if attacked by a target of 1 level lower than it, it will reduce durability by 0.1 points each time. Under Gu Changsheng's talent, both the wooden fence and the territory gate can be strengthened, and after strengthening, their level can also be improved. The required origin point is also 100. Gu Changsheng understood clearly that the strengthening effect of his talent was to improve the target's level, rather than increasing other values. He also did not strengthen the wooden fence and territory gate, neither of which currently enhances the intuitive combat power, so there is no need for them. With the protection of territorial gates and wooden fences, the guardian tower can be greatly protected. Humph, this won't stump me. Lord, come with me. Nong Yue said, bouncing towards the distance, and then stopped about 20 meters away from the gate of her territory. It is most suitable to place the divine guardian tower at a distance of 20.70 meters from the gate of the territory, so that it does not have to worry about being attacked by targets outside the territory, and it can attack targets with peace of mind. At this stage, the foreign tribes encountered are definitely not very powerful, so it can be placed in a slightly higher position, preferably around 20 meters. Gu Changxing was surprised. It seemed that the defensive ability of the Moon City expert was not just a decoration. A distance of 20 meters does not prevent attacks from professional units such as archers, crossbowmen, gunmen, and magicians, but it can avoid being consumed by melee professional units. Placing it in this position can balance output and defense. If moved back, besides reducing the firepower coverage of the Divine Guardian Tower, it cannot effectively protect the Divine Guardian Tower. Because the attack range of long-range troops can also reach 100 meters, it mainly depends on the opponent's magical equipment, and so on placing it more than 20 meters away from the gate of the territory is indeed the best place. Gu Changxing took out the Random Guardian Tower Construction Scroll and Random Barracks Construction Scroll. Random Divine Guardian Tower Construction Scroll. Unusual. After use, you can consume a point of origin to build a random mortal-level Divine Guardian Tower in your territory. There is also a plus sign on the construction scroll of the Random Guardian Tower. When Gu Changxing's gaze touched the plus sign, a reinforcement prompt came to his mind. Does it consume 100 points of origin point enhancement? Random Divine Guardian Tower Construction Scroll. After enhancement, its level will be promoted to Wasteland. The market price for the construction scroll of the Wild Terrace God Guardian Tower is around 800 origin points, which is about the total number of origin points that can be generated by a level 1 territory in a month. Moreover, money may not necessarily be able to buy it, as it is a strategic material and no one is willing to sell it out. End of this chapter. Chapter 3. Long Sword Tower. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Chapter 3 Long Sword Tower. Next, Gu Changxing checked another item gifted by the territory. The Random Barracks Construction Scroll. Random Barracks Construction Scroll. Any level random barracks can be built within the territory by consuming a point of origin. This barracks can also be reinforced by building scrolls. Whether to consume 100 points of origin point enhancement. Random Barracks Construction Scroll. After enhancement, its level will be promoted to Wasteland. Wilderness Barracks. What is the most valuable thing to cultivate in a territory? No one belongs to the barracks. Usually, barracks cannot advance and can only obtain higher level barracks in some ancient secret realms. And the emergence of each type of advanced barracks construction scroll is bound to stir up a bloody storm. Countless aristocratic families and clans, as well as various alien races, will compete to seize. Gu Changxing still remembers that 5 years ago, a Xuanjia military camp was discovered in an ancient ruins. At that time, countless great powers participated in the competition, and the war lasted for 3 months. It is said that billions of soldiers died, and even some great powers were annihilated in this competition. A territory with a total of 100 branches of arms can be called a village, a town with a total of 1,000, a city with a total of 10,000, a capital with a total of 100,000, a country with a total of 1 million, a dynasty with a total of 10 million, a domain with a total of 100 million, and a boundary with a total of 1 trillion. Villages, towns, cities, capitals, countries, dynasties, territories, and boundaries represent the strength of a territory. A scroll of building a Xuanjia barracks can attract 1 million level military power to compete for national destruction and casualties, indicating its preciousness. Its value starts at the origin point of at least 1 million. Now Gu Changxing only needs to spend 100 origin points to obtain a scroll of building a deserted barracks. Above the wasteland level, it's already the Xian level. If we strengthen it again after strengthening, can we strengthen this barracks to the Xian level? He was overjoyed with joy. He just quickly became discouraged. A clever woman cannot cook without rice. He really wants to strengthen everything he can, but now he only has 100 points of origin, which is not enough to support his arrogance. Moreover, although the God's Throne Pagoda is not as good as the barracks, it is the existence that Gu Changxing has to build today. Without it, he will definitely be destroyed by the foreign race. Building the Guardian Tower also requires some origin, and after building the Guardian Tower, it will not be able to strengthen anything. This feeling of only being able to see but not improve drove him crazy. Well, let's build the Divine Guard Tower first to protect our lives. The rest can be released later. The development of ordinary lords, the role of low-level barracks in the first few years was not as significant as that of the Guardian Tower. Because after the construction of the barracks, it is necessary to spend 10 points of origin to conceive a unit, and to conceive a lowest-level ordinary unit, it is necessary to spend 10 points of origin. The newly conceived branches of the military are all at the level of the mortal realm, with comparable strength to Gu Chongsheng and little combat power. Only when the realm is elevated and the quantity is scaled up, can the branches of service be effective. With a murmur, Gu Chongsheng gave up building the barracks and began building the God Guardian Tower. If you're lucky, maybe there won't be any foreign invasion for an hour, so you can gather enough to strengthen the Divine Guardian Tower with 100 origin points. If we were to build another barracks, we would have to wait longer. Hopefully, after the construction of the Guardian Tower, it can still be strengthened. Gu Chongsheng felt uneasy in his heart. He was very afraid that after the construction of the Divine Guardian Tower, it could no longer be strengthened, which would be like missing out on a deserted Divine Guardian Tower and causing him to suffer a loss of blood. It is extremely difficult to obtain the scroll for constructing the Divine Guardian Tower. If it cannot be strengthened after construction, he will cry to death. In a state of unease, the white scroll in his hand turned into dots of fluorescence, dancing gracefully in the light breeze on the grassland, as if outlining something. Seems like a sword. The fluorescence slowly swims, outlining the pattern of a giant sword phantom. The sword shadow is about 10 meters high, with its tip facing downwards, inserted into the soil. In an instant, the phantom solidified and a huge white sword appeared in front of Gu Chongsheng and Nongyue. The sharp edge of the sword hung down, releasing a cold and piercing aura that made Gu Chongsheng feel as if there was a sharp blade in his heart, and if he had any unusual movements, he would be killed. Long Sword Tower. City Defense Architecture Durability. 1000/1000 grade. Fan Realm. Mortal Realm, 1 level function 1. Sword Shadow. Can condense sword shadows to attack enemy units within a range of 100 meters. Function 2. Hard Armor. Each attack reduces durability by 10 to the power of n points. Note: n is the difference between the Long Sword Tower and the attacker's level. Function 3. Promotion. Can consume cultivation points to enhance its realm. 0/365, the Shenwei Tower is a city defense building that can elevate one's realm. Usually, hitting a target of the same level and realm in the Divine Guardian Tower can kill it with just one hit. If the target level or realm is higher than it, then the Divine Guardian Tower can only be scraped. It is the only existence that guarded the territory in the early stage. As for the cultivation points mentioned in its introduction, they belong to a strategic resource. Killing any creature can earn you some cultivation points. The invasion of territory by foreign races may seem like a crisis, but in fact, it is also an opportunity. The Long Sword Tower can also be strengthened, which finally reassures Gu Chongsheng. However, strengthening the Long Sword Tower still requires 100 origin points. Gu Chongsheng was not surprised either. But at this moment, "Lord, the foreign race is coming." The slightly anxious voice of Nongyue came from my ear. A few dozen meters outside the territory, the void was suddenly torn open, and black ants the size of wild wolves emerged from inside. Gu Chongsheng quickly looked around, and relevant information immediately came to his mind. Magic Ant. Race. Magic Ant Clan Bloodline. Fan Realm. Abyssal Realm. 1 level. There are a huge number of demonic ants emerging from the cracks. In just a few seconds, more than 10 of them have emerged and are still running out continuously. Gu Chongsheng furrowed his brows, and a mediocre military unit only had this strength. These alien tribes are coming with great force. And at this moment, with a miso sound, it seemed like a sharp sword was unsheathed. The long sword tower, which was originally quietly inserted on the ground, suddenly showed its sharpness and rose from the ground. The sword rotated 90 degrees and lay flat in the void, with its tip pointing straight at the black tide of magical ants rushing in the distance. The body of the long sword tower trembled slightly, as if accumulating energy. Immediately, the sound of breaking through the air sounded, and sword shadows with thin arms swiftly swept out from the tip of the long sword tower, instantly shooting into the tide of the demonic ants. Shoo! Sword shadow had just made contact with the magic ants, and its sharp edge directly tore them in half. Blood splattered everywhere, and the scene was extremely bloody. After killing the demon ant, the sword shadow also disappeared. Subsequently, 4 light spots flew out of the 4 deceased demon ants and quickly disappeared into Gu Changsheng's eyebrows. These light points are exactly the cultivation points. Whoosh whoosh. The body of the long sword pagoda trembled again, and 4 unmatched sword shadows flew out again, roaring towards the rushing black tide. Can condense 4 sword shadows in 1 second. Gu Changsheng had a general understanding of the attack speed of the long sword tower, but his face became particularly heavy as he watched the dense waves of demon ants rushing in the distance. Although there are no long-range attacking troops in the demonic ant colony, they have one in large numbers. In just this moment, more than 30 have already emerged from the cracks, and they are still continuously flowing out without any intention of stopping. With this posture, the long sword tower cannot be killed at all. As for building barracks to nurture troops, it is also not feasible. Fanjia barracks require 10 points of origin to conceive a branch. The strength of the troops bred is equivalent to that of a magic ant. Even if he builds a barracks now, he can only breed 9 small soldiers and cannot control the battle situation at all. In fact, Gu Changsheng had long anticipated such a situation. Aliens are all wise, they only choose weaker enemies to attack. 90% of lords can only rely on the support of their parents and families to build several guardian towers in the early stage, in order to resist the invasion of foreign tribes safely. Although his talent is formidable, he needs a large number of origins to be effective. It is extremely difficult to resist foreign invasion alone without the help of parents and family. Seeking collection and pursuing reading, end of this chapter. Chapter 4. Crisis. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Chapter 4 Crisis. Oh my Lord, please give me the permission to control the Divine Guardian Tower quickly, otherwise I will be broken in by these demonic ants later. Xiaodoubting Nongyue shouted anxiously on the side. Gu Changsheng turned his head to look at her. Can you do it? Xiao Doubting was unhappy when he heard this. Humph, Lord, don't underestimate people. There are at least 2 solutions to this situation. 2 types. Gu Changsheng raised his eyebrows. As far as he knew, there was only one solution to this situation, which was to make the long sword tower give up attacking the demon ants and instead attack the cracks. The crack belongs to the void channel and has a durability setting. Although Gu Changsheng cannot see the durability of the void crack in front of him, if the firepower of the long sword tower is concentrated to attack the crack, it can probably be destroyed. Of course, it is also possible that before he could destroy the void rift, the opponent had already broken through the domain gate. Even with the presence of the long sword tower at that time, there was no possibility of his territory continuing. I was forced to submit to other lords and request their reinforcements, and from then on, I became someone else's laborer. So attacking cracks is actually a gamble, betting on who can persist for a longer time. He doesn't believe that there are 2 solutions to Nongyue. Yes, the first way is to have the long sword tower attack that void crack. Nongyue spoke arrogantly, but before she could finish speaking, she was rudely interrupted by Gu Changsheng. Let's talk about the second one. Xiaodoubting pouted and was interrupted, which made her very unhappy. However, Gu Changsheng was the lord, and she dared not speak out in anger, so she had to act according to her words. The second method is to control the long sword tower to dig a large pit in front of the territory gate, which has a moat-like effect. Once the ants enter, they can catch turtles in the jar. Saying with a milky voice. Is this also okay? This method has never been heard of by Gu Changsheng. And the guardian tower is not something that can be freely controlled. The Lord can at most convey simple commands to the guardian tower, such as attack/ceasefire. As for other commands, whether they can be executed completely depends on their intelligence level. The ground does not belong to hostile units, and even if there are no enemies within the range, the Tower of God cannot make any actions to destroy the ground. Controlling the long sword tower to dig a pit in front of the territory gate is simply a pipe dream. Of course, Lord, please grant me authorization. Nongyue blinked her agile big eyes and looked up at Gu Changsheng with a pleading expression, her face turning cute. During their conversation, over 100 demonic ants had already emerged from the crack, and the front one was less than 30 meters away from the gate of the territory. After pondering for a moment, Gu Changsheng finally nodded. Okay, I'll give you permission. He, Lord, it's best. So Gu Changsheng granted Nongyue the authority to become a city defense expert. Yo-ho Snow Moon Realm, your great demon king is back. Just authorized, Xiaodao excitedly ran towards the distance, shouting words that he didn't know where to hear. Then, under Gu Changsheng's incredulous gaze, she waved her small hand, and the sword shadow swept out of the long sword tower no longer attacked the demon ants, but instead formed arcs flying over the gate of the territory. Then the sword shadows turned and fell heavily in front of the gate of the territory. Boom! The loud explosion accompanied the splashing of soil and rock. In the blink of an eye, a circular deep pit exploded in front of the gate of the territory. Depth of 1 meter, radius of 1 meter. Gu Changsheng was stunned at the sight. He never thought that the Divine Guardian Tower could still be used like this. This cannot be blamed on him. Under normal circumstances, the Divine Guardian Tower would not attack non-enemy units, let alone the ground. It can only be said that the method of manipulating the moon is indeed remarkable, as it can control the Divine Guardian Tower to attack the ground. I really found a treasure. Gu Changsheng was overjoyed. I thought I had great talent. Unexpectedly, there was an awesome chief administrative officer. What a surprise. Sure enough, good luck always favors fools. Bah, it's good luck that doesn't favor fools. Isn't this a disguised indication of one's exceptional intelligence? The army of demonic ants in the distance was overwhelming, and they were rapidly rushing towards Gu Changsheng's territory. Even the Moon Reaper ignored them and continued to control the long sword tower to dig a pit in front of the territory gate. Boom! 4 sword shadows fell together and once again, a 1 meter deep pit was dug on the soft grass, just connected to the previous pit. How's it going? Am I impressive? Nongyue turned around and looked at Gu Changsheng, smiling brightly. Gu Changsheng gave her a thumbs up and generously praised, amazing. Indeed powerful, the governor who can control the Divine Guardian Tower to such a great extent, not to mention unseen, simply unheard of. The dark army of demonic ants is getting closer and closer to the gate of the territory, and the pit in front of the gate is also getting longer and longer. Before the army of demonic ants could approach, the long sword tower had successfully dug out a 10-meter long and 1 meter deep curved moat in front of the territory gate. To enter territory, one can only cross the moat. Immediately, the moon began to control the long sword tower to increase the depth of the moat. When the depth reaches about 3 meters, it is no longer possible to dig deep. Can this work? Gu Changsheng still felt a bit uneasy. Now that the number of demonic ants has reached 400 to 500, it is a vast expanse, and the army is pressing on the border. Relying solely on this terrain level doesn't seem safe. With such a large number of demon ants, they can still fill deep pits even with corpses. It's just that talking too much now is not beneficial. If it's not possible, it's also possible. We can only grit our teeth. Lord, don't worry. With the suppression of the human race's aura, we won't encounter too strong other races now. The maximum number of these demonic ants is 1,000, and they won't make a difference. Nomue spoke with a milky voice, her pink and tender face completely indifferent, as if 1,000 magic ants were also a local chicken and a dog in her eyes. Gu Changxing said to himself, is 1,000 still missing? However, it doesn't seem like much to think about. With the current capabilities of the Long Sword Tower, it seems that they can be solved in 200 to 300 seconds. This moat should be able to hold for 5 or 6 minutes, right? The overwhelming army of demonic ants was overwhelming the territory, and the Long Sword Tower was not idle after digging the pit, crazily swallowing its sword shadows. However, its sword shadow appeared too insignificant in front of hundreds of demon ant armies. Under the attack of fierce sword shadows, one demonic ant after another died miserably, with blood and corpses scattered on the grass. Then, light dots flew from the battlefield into Gu Changxing's eyebrows. The army of demonic ants slowly advanced forward, with one dead in front and quickly filled by those who came later. However, as the moon said, when the number reached 1,000, magic ants finally stopped emerging from the cracks. At this time, the demon ants had already rushed to the moat in front of the territory gate. Gu Changxing felt a bit nervous in his heart. He was afraid that these magic ants would jump. If they jumped over the deep pit and directly attacked the gate of the territory, he would be more or less unlucky. Cute new author's new book, please collect and follow up, kneel down and thank you. End of this chapter. Chapter 5. Difficult Aid Management. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Chapter 5. Difficult Aid Management. The magic ants will never jump. The first ones to rush to the pit were about to stop and check the situation, but they were unexpectedly squeezed into the pit by their companions behind them. The pit was 3 meters high, and the ants who fell into it had just stood up when they were knocked down by their fallen companions. They are performing a double act of a large rear-end collision. The Long Sword Tower did not attack the magic ants in the pit, but crazily devoured the sword shadows to hunt down the targets on the pit. Anyway, those magic ants in the pit won't be able to get up for a while, so don't rush to attack them. Prioritizing killing the ones on the pit can ensure that fewer corpses enter the pit, so it will take some time for them to come up. In this way, we can buy more output time for the Long Sword Tower. Whoosh! Sword shadows swiftly swept out the lives of the demon ants, harvesting them one by one. As time passed, the demon ants fell into the pit one after another. There are too many magic ants, and the sword shadow from the Long Sword Tower cannot be killed. There are more and more magic ants in the pit, and gradually some can touch the edge of the pit. It only takes a few seconds to climb out of the pit and attack the gate of the territory. Gu Changxing felt very anxious when he saw that the situation was not right. Nomue also knew that the current situation was extremely unfavorable for them. Her small face was very serious, and she immediately controlled the transformation target of the Long Sword Tower to attack the demonic ants who wanted to climb up the pit. However, the number of demonic ants was ultimately too large, and how could a Long Sword Tower stop them? Finally, some demonic ants climbed up the deep pit and attacked the gate of the territory. A bright red and dazzling number floated from the gate of the territory, causing Gu Changxing's heart to instantly plummet to the bottom. His face was extremely ugly. Continuing like this will inevitably lead to the destruction of the city and the loss of people. Do you really request assistance from other lords to increase their troops and support? Gu Changxing knew that if he sought help from other lords now, they would be happy to help him. However, the price paid must be to become their vassal, losing territorial sovereignty, and forever being a slave to others. He is unwilling to accept it. But if we don't seek help now, it won't be too late. Once the gate of the territory is broken, his mortal strength cannot hold the territory. With so many demon ants charging in, they can plunder all the origin points in their territory in 3 to 5 seconds. If the origin point is used normally and consumed completely, it will not bring any consequences. However, once it is looted, the lord of the territory will be stripped of his status as a lord and become a refugee. If you cannot escape, there is still a risk of being killed. Defensive failure is like a catastrophic disaster for a lord. In fact, with Gu Changxing's current talent, even if he becomes a refugee, he still has a great advantage, and Goigo has the opportunity to stand out. But lords must develop faster than refugees, and unless absolutely necessary, no one wants to become a refugee. But now it seems that Gu Changxing has only two options in front of him. Either being a vassal to other lords or becoming a refugee. The situation that Gu Changxing is currently facing is a true portrayal of people with no foundation in this world. Whenever there is a background, parents and families will definitely support the birth of a territory, and there will definitely be no situation where there is only one initial territory guardian tower guarding the city. When the idea of vassal emerged in Gu Changxing's mind, it was directly rejected by him. Once a vassal is appointed, there will never be a day of glory. It seems that only the path of refugees is feasible for him. Even though he may feel reluctant, the current situation no longer allows him to have more choices. He looked bitterly into the distance, and in his field of vision, the demon ants attacking the domain gate were only shot and killed by the long sword tower, but there were still fierce and fearless ants attacking the domain gate. The bloody number .1 occasionally floats on the gate of the territory, and its durability is gradually being depleted. Gu Changxing glanced at his cultivation point, 348, which means that the long sword tower has killed 348 magic ants, and it also means that he still needs 17 cultivation points to upgrade to the flying sword tower. The durability of the territory gate is still 63 out of 100, and it can last for a while. When you have accumulated enough cultivation points to upgrade the long sword tower, if the upgraded long sword tower still has no hope of overturning, it's not too late to escape again. Gu Changxing still wants to struggle for the last time. As he watched the demon ants rushing to attack the territory gate one after another, he gradually calmed down. However, he also knew that even if the realm of the long sword tower was elevated, the hope of influencing the battle situation was slim. As mentioned in textbooks, when the realm of the divine guardian tower is improved, it mostly only increases its attack power and rarely increases its attack speed. The situation he is facing now requires the long sword tower to have a faster attack speed to resolve, and increasing its power is not very helpful to him. As his thoughts flowed, he finally gathered 365 cultivation points. Without hesitation, he immediately consumed 365 cultivation points to upgrade to the long sword tower. Cultivation point .365, long sword tower, is promoted to the mortal realm, level 2. The long sword tower, lying horizontally in the void, burst out with dazzling light, and its momentum noticeably rose to the next level. Gu Changxing quickly checked its properties. Long sword tower. City defense architecture durability. 2000/2000 grade. Fan realm. Mortal realm, double function 1. Sword shadow. Can condense sword shadows to attack enemy units within a range of 100 meters. Function 2. Hard armor. Each attack reduces durability by 10 N points. Note: N is the difference between the long sword tower and the attacker's level. Function 3. Promotion. Can consume cultivation points to enhance its realm. 365/730. From the perspective of attributes alone, the long sword pagoda shows nothing but a change in its realm. However, in terms of performance, the attack speed of the long sword tower did not increase, but the condensed sword shadow became more solid and the sharpness became sharper. However, when the sword shadow penetrated the bodies of the demonic ants, it exploded into a mist of blood, leaving no bones or debris behind. No bones left. Gu Changxing was overjoyed to see this. Isn't it here to break the game? Although the attack from the long sword tower was able to cut the demon ants in half, there were still corpses left, which led to the diminishing effect of the previously dug pit until it was completely useless in the end. But now the attack of the long sword tower can leave the demonic ants with no bones left, which means that the deep pit can once again play its role. Make the moon, use your method just now to dig a pit in front of the territory gate. He shouted loudly. The gate of the territory is only over 2 meters wide. If you dig a pit in front of it, the demon ant can only fill the pit to reach the gate if it wants to attack it again. In this way, there is a great deal of operational space. As long as they step into the deep pit, let the long sword tower shoot them, and it's not that easy for them to encounter the gates of their territory. Even though there are many demonic ants nowadays, the pit is so large that they cannot all flood into the pit in a second. Just let the long sword tower be trapped and reinforce, and the advantage in quantity becomes a disadvantage at this time. Actually, there's no need to follow Changsheng's instructions. Nong Yue has already controlled the long sword tower to do that. After significantly increasing the power of the flying sword tower in Fanjing Erzhong, the ability to dig pits is also stronger. For sword shadows fell in front of the gate of the territory, instantly digging out a huge pit with a depth of 2 meters and a radius of 2 meters. The magic ants surrounding the gate of the territory instantly fell into a deep pit. Gu Changsheng was just about to take a deep breath, but to his surprise, a huge head popped out from a crack in the distance. Cute new author's new book, kneeling down to all ancestors to collect and read. End of this chapter. Chapter 6. The Powerful Demon Ant Queen. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Chapter 6. The powerful demon ant queen in the crack, the head was as big as a grinding disc, and it was pitch black, with 2 black pupils occupying more than 3/4 of the entire cheek. The 2 tentacles on top of its head swayed like long whips, and it bared its mouth as if sneering, revealing a set of pitch black, sharp teeth that shimmered with cold light. Its body was too large, and its head was stuck in a crack just as it protruded. Magic Ant Queen. Race. Magic Ant Clan Bloodline. Wilderness Realm. Mortal Realm, Double, Magic Ant Queen. Judging from its protruding head alone, this big guy is at least 10 meters tall. This physique is not particularly large in this world, but it is only compared to other races. In the eyes of the human race, it is already considered a behemoth. Gu Changsheng was both surprised, happy, and worried. Surprisingly, dealing with these demonic ants has become very difficult now, and now the queen ant joining the battlefield is even more difficult. Fortunately, the queen ant seems to be stuck in a crack and may not be able to achieve combat effectiveness for a while. One more thing, the appearance of the queen ant means that there are no more magic ants behind the crack. If all these magic ants can be killed, then after the battle is over, he can counterattack the crack and search for resources in the crack, which should yield a lot of origin points. One of the fastest ways to obtain the origin point is to plunder the territory of others or other creatures. As long as they are completely annihilated, they can become wealthy. The worry is that he still has the confidence to eliminate the remaining demonic ants before the appearance of the queen ant, but the appearance of the queen ant has brought about a sharp turn in the good situation. He can only hope that the crack can hold the queen ant for a longer time and buy more time for the flying sword tower. However, the more afraid you are, the more you come. The void crack was clearly associated with the magic ants, emitting a dazzling light that instantly expanded in a circle and could no longer stop the queen of the magic ants. The body of the demonic ant queen, like a mountain, pierced through a crack and quickly headed towards the distant gate of the territory. Several dark ant feet spun like second-speed fans, carrying it out like the wind. Bad luck. Gu Changsheng is full of bitterness. Nowadays, the durability of the territory gate is only 53, and it cannot withstand ants for a few seconds. Although Nong Yue is only 5 years old, her ability to defend the city is clearly very strong. At the moment when the demon ant queen emerged, she had already given up attacking the demon ant and adjusted the firepower of the long sword tower to directly focus the fire on the demon ant queen. Zheng zheng zheng. Four sword shadows fell one after another on the back of the demonic ant, as if colliding with an iron block, splashing out a burst of sparks, leaving only shallow wounds and green liquid overflowing. Lord, don't worry. As long as you set fire to attack the queen ant and make it feel threatened, it will definitely summon other ants to come back. Really, when Nongyue spoke, she kept staring at the queen ant, and it was not easy to get the ants to come back. It was necessary to make the queen ant feel threatened. For the queen ant, the output of the long sword tower is just scraping, and it is not easy to make it feel crisis. It is necessary to control the long sword tower to continuously attack the same place. Upon hearing Nongyue's words, Gu Chongqing frowned and said, "Can the long sword tower create a crisis for the queen ant?" The queen ant's speed is extremely fast, and in just a few seconds, it is less than 20 meters away from the gate of the territory. In 1 or 2 more breaths, it will be able to rush to the gate of the territory. But the long sword tower attacked it for a few seconds, and sword shadows kept falling on its surface. Apart from causing shallow wounds, it had no effect at all. Isn't this pure scraping? Gu Chongqing is not a novice. He is well aware that there has been a precedent for the Fanjie Divine Guardian Tower to kill the bloodline and other races of the Huangjie. Yes, but that can only be achieved by reaching a higher level, and now the long sword tower has a dual level of talent and mortal realm. The realm is no different from that of the demon ant queen, and it is impossible for the demon ant queen to have a crisis. Wild bloodline is not just a noun, it is also a symbol of absolute strength. Using the body of a mortal level to resist the power of a barren level is completely like praying mantis wielding a chariot and mayflies shaking trees, exceeding one's own abilities. It may not be possible to kill the demon ant queen with the current ability of the flying sword tower, but it is not too difficult to make it in crisis. With a bright smile on the moon, she seemed very confident. And after her words fell, the demon ants actually began to retreat, consciously approaching the demon ant queen's side. But Gu Chongqing was completely overjoyed. Even without any other demonic ants, just one queen ant would be enough to destroy his territory. With the size of the queen ant, it is impossible to deal with it using the same methods as against the demonic ants. Although he still has a barracks construction scroll in his hand that has not been used, even if he builds it, it is only an ordinary level barracks, and the types of troops he can conceive are only ordinary level bloodlines. Moreover, the newly nurtured realm only has one level of mortal realm, which is enough to challenge the demon ant alone, let alone hinder the queen ant. Now he has returned to the original situation, either seeking help from other powerful lords and willingly becoming their vassal. Either flee or become refugees. Just with the strength of the demon ant queen, it seems that the hope of escaping this path is also slim. However, we are now in a desperate situation. If we don't have the courage to build a barracks and fight, it would be too cowardly. Gu Chongqing plans to build a barracks and give it a try. But at this moment, Nongyue seemed to see through his intentions, and an urgent voice rang in his ear. "Lord, please do not build a barracks." Gu Chongqing frowned and looked at her. Nongyue's gaze was fixed on the demonic ant queen, with a childish and solemn expression. As the governor of the territory, Nongyu knows the territory better than Gu Chongqing. She knows what Gu Chongqing's talent is, and she knows even better that the territory is about to draw on a point of origin. Gu Chongqing will soon be able to use his talent. Of course, this is because Gu Chongqing did not block her, otherwise she would not be able to know Gu Chongqing's information. If the Lord builds a barracks at this time, it will be a failure. The heart of level 1 territory can draw a point of origin from the void every hour. It does not necessarily need to wait for 1 hour after the territory is built to reach the origin point, but it can be drawn in the first second of each hour. It is only a few seconds away from this time node. She quickly spoke up and informed Gu Chongqing. The heart of the territory can soon draw some origin points, and Lord can strengthen the flying sword tower. That is to say, while the voice of playing the moon fell, the heart of the territory indeed drew some origin points from the void, and Gu Changsheng's origin point became 100. While Gu Changsheng was surprised, he was overjoyed. 100 points of origin is enough for him to strengthen a building. Now there are 3 options in front of him. One is to strengthen oneself, the second is to strengthen the long sword tower, and the third is to strengthen the gate of the territory. These 3 choices flashed through Gu Changsheng's mind, and he chose to strengthen the long sword tower without hesitation. Strengthening himself can certainly elevate his bloodline to the same level as the queen ant. The wilderness. But his realm is not as good as the queen ant, and his skills are average. He doesn't think he can defeat the queen ant, and he knows he still has this. Moreover, there are hundreds of demon ants lurking around. Strengthening oneself cannot save the decline. Strengthening the domain gate can certainly allow it to persist for more time in fighting for output from the long sword tower, but the output from the long sword tower is not effective for the queen ant and cannot save the current situation. So the only breakthrough point can only be to strengthen the long sword tower. End of this chapter. Chapter 7. Humanistic Care. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Chapter 7 Humanistic Care. Does it consume 100 points of origin to strengthen the long sword tower? After strengthening, its level will be promoted to wasteland. After Gu Changsheng chose to strengthen, a light green beam suddenly hung down from the sky, enveloping the long sword tower. This beam of light is only visible to Gu Changsheng himself, and cannot be detected by other creatures. The beam is filled with raging energy, which, under the traction of some mysterious force, turns into wisps of green smoke and quickly swims around the sword body of the long sword tower. Wherever Qin Yan passed, mysterious patterns quickly spread on the white sword body of the long sword tower, and then quickly disappeared. After a blink of an eye, the beam of light converges and becomes invisible. And there are some blue lines on the originally white sword body. Miso, miso. The sound of swords suddenly rang out. 4 green rainbow-like sword shadows rushed out from above the tip of the sword, and the overflowing sword energy made the void mourn for it. A heart-pounding wave rippled through the void like ripples, and all living creatures passed by were shivering with fear. Like floating light and sweeping shadows, the 4 sword shadows carry fierce shards through the long sky, with their swords pointing straight at the demonic ant queen. The demonic ant queen, who had already rushed to the gate of the territory and was about to attack it, paused for a moment, and the ultimate sense of crisis surged from its heart. Infinite fear surged in its grinding wheel-sized pupils, and 4 green rainbows were rapidly zooming in. It wanted to dodge, but the speed of the green rainbows was too fast. It was only when it thought about it that 4 green rainbows had already entered its eyes. The sound of the sharp blade piercing into the flesh rang out, and the green liquid shot out from the huge pupils of the demonic ant queen. Boom! 4 green rainbows, carrying endless power, knocked its massive body out for more than 10 meters. The demonic ant queen struggled to stand up, but never succeeded. In the end, its eyes dimmed and its entire body weakly smashed onto the grass, crushing countless tender grass and losing its vitality. Is this dead? His chest thumped incessantly, and as he looked at the silent demon ant queen lying on the ground, Gu Changsheng was not only excited but also somewhat incredulous. You should know that the demon ant queen is also a dual existence in the wasteland and mortal realm. Even if the long sword tower is promoted to the wasteland level, it is not so easy to kill it in a flash. Gu Changsheng has never seen scenes of battles between the divine guard tower of the wilderness level and the exotic bloodline of the wilderness level. Usually, when encountering creatures from the same realm as the wild level divine guardian tower, although the output of the divine guardian tower can cause deep wounds to the opponent, it is not easy to instantly kill the opponent. But when he saw the location where the long sword tower hit, he felt relieved. The brain behind the eyes is connected to the queen ant, and it must have been the sword shadow that pierced her brain marrow just now that caused her to suddenly die. Otherwise, if the sword shadow attacks other parts, it can only cause slightly more severe trauma to the queen ant, and it will definitely not take its life. Of course, Gu Changsheng also knew that all of this was due to playing the moon. Without her control of the long sword tower, it would not have hit the crucial part of the demon ant queen in one go. This political officer is really very useful. Hee, am I amazing? After the death of the demonic ant queen, the young and tender face of the moon was once again adorned with a brilliant smile. When she smiled, her eyebrows and eyes curved into crescent moon, very sweet and sweet. Amazing, we are the most skilled at moon making. Gu Changsheng also breathed a sigh of relief as he touched the head of the moon and sincerely praised it. However, there are still over 500 demon ants outside the territory, so we cannot take it lightly. Far away. After the queen ant died, all the demonic ants turned red in their eyes and rushed forward with a murderous aura. The air is filled with a strong murderous aura, making people feel suppressed. Whoosh! The four sword shadows above the long sword tower transformed into a green rainbow and once again swept out, dispelling the killing energy. In an instant, they disappeared into the demon ant colony. The four demon ants rushing forward had just made contact with the sword shadows, and in an instant, they burst into a mist of blood. The blue sword shadow did not dissipate, and the remaining power continued to move forward, completely dissipating only after continuing to explode another demonic ant into blood mist. A sword shadow can kill 2 magic ants. After being promoted to the rank of Wasteland, although the attack speed did not increase, the power of sword shadow did indeed increase significantly, even directly piercing through 2. Miso. Just as Gu Changsheng was delighted by the strength of the long sword tower, it turned into a rainbow and burst into the dark ant colony. The 10-meter-long sword tower rushed into the wave of black magic ants, as if entering an uninhabited realm. Bang 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 bang. With the continuous sound of explosions, the magic ants touched by the long sword tower exploded one by one and died. In the blink of an eye, the black tide was forcefully split in half by the long sword tower from the middle. However, the long sword pagoda did not have its aura for long and dissipated after eliminating more than 10 demonic ants. Yes, it just dissipated out of thin air. Gu Changsheng was greatly surprised, and then his heart began to panic. The long sword tower is his reliance on dealing with the demonic ants. What should he do if it disappears? However, his panic had not yet dissipated, and he saw 4 green rainbows flickering away, instantly taking away the lives of 8 demon ants. He looked back in shock and realized that the long sword tower was still suspended in place, swallowing attacks. What just flew out was not the long sword tower, but a sword shadow resembling the long sword tower. Gu Changsheng suddenly thought of a possibility, that huge sword shadow should be a new ability of the long sword tower after being promoted. He quickly checked the information of the long sword tower. Long sword tower. City defense architecture durability. 20,000/20,000 grade. Wilderness realm. Mortal realm, double function 1. Sword shadow. Can condense sword shadows to attack enemy units within a range of 100 meters. Function 2. Sword chi. When attacking, it has the opportunity to release a sword chi that causes damage to targets in a straight line. The sword chi energy is depleted or dissipates after exceeding the attack range of the long sword tower. Function 3. Hard armor. Each attack reduces durability by 10 to the power of n points. Note: n is the difference between the long sword tower and the attacker's level. Function 4. Promotion. Can consume cultivation points to enhance its realm. 365/730. Sure enough, the long sword tower after the promotion not only increased its durability tenfold, but also added a new skill. Sword chi. From the performance just now, the effect of sword chi is decent, but I don't know if the trigger probability is high. However, even if the probability is not high, there is more than enough to deal with the remaining demonic ants. With the current abilities of the Long Sword Tower, no demon ant can approach the gate of the territory any further. The Long Sword Pagoda after the promotion can still be further promoted. In Gu Changxing's gaze, there was still a prominent plus sign on the Long Sword Tower. Does it consume 1,000 origin points to strengthen the Long Sword Tower? After strengthening, its level will be promoted to Xian. 1,000 points of origin can elevate the level of the Long Sword Tower to Xian, which is definitely worth it. Nowadays, whenever there is a Xuanjia Divine Guardian Tower construction scroll on the market, it is worth at least tens of thousands of origin points. However, even if only 1,000 origin points are needed to obtain a Xuanjia Divine Guardian Tower, it is not something that Gu Changxing can afford now. He can only watch with hot eyes, but there is nothing he can do. After more than 2 minutes, all the magic ants were slaughtered, except for the bloodstains on the grass to prove that they had come. At the same time, some information also came to Gu Changxing's mind. You have successfully resisted the invasion of the Demon Ant Clan, with Demon Ant Clan Chi of 0.1 and Human Clan Chi of +1. You have received humanitarian favor and obtained the Heart Technique of Body Forging Technique *1. You have gained the hatred of the Demon Ant Tribe. Please be careful of the Demon Ant Tribe in the future. End of this chapter. Chapter 8. Divine Tower. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Chapter 8 Divine Tower. After the ants die, the cracks in the distance do not close, but will last for an hour before they close. During the duration of the crack, you can choose to place it if you haven't heard of it, or you can choose to launch a counterattack. In general, in order to maintain stability, most lords will not launch a counterattack hastily, because most lords who choose to launch a counterattack have never emerged from the cracks again. These are all lessons of blood and tears. But now that the Queen Ant has been killed and there is no more troops to defend in the cracks, Gu Changxing will definitely launch a counterattack. Just before that, he plans to check the rewards given by humanitarian favors first. The so-called humanitarian favor is a rule in this world. Every invasion/defense war waged against a different race and achieved victory will increase the luck of the race it belongs to. The amount of luck that can be increased depends on the number and strength of the killed foreign races. The more luck one adds to their own race, the more benefits they can gain. Of course, while eliminating other races increases the energy of our own race, it will also simultaneously reduce the energy value of the eliminated races. We will face hatred from other races, and our territory numbers will be exposed on the hatred list of other races. From then on, we will continue to suffer from invasion from other races until we are killed or all other races are taken down. The former is easy to implement, while the latter is completely impossible. Nowadays, the hatred list of the human race basically includes all races in the world except for the human race, and the situation of other races is generally similar. And each lord has one chance to seek revenge every day. It is said to be an opportunity for revenge, but more precisely, it is an opportunity for aggression. Once revenge is successful, resources can be obtained for rapid development. So every lord cherishes this opportunity and basically seeks revenge from a different race whose strength is worse than themselves, but not much worse. The demon ant that Gu Changxing encountered came to seek revenge against the human race. He thought it was easy to deal with when his territory was first established, so he chose him. As long as Gu Changxing does not die, this situation will continue to occur endlessly in the future. This is due to the general situation, and no living creature can be spared. The only thing we can do is to become stronger, stronger, stronger again, stronger until no one dares to provoke us again. Body Forging Technique. Abyssal Mind Technique. Upon comprehension, one can increase their cultivation speed. Upon reaching a perfect state, one can increase their cultivation speed by 2.8 times. Note: only the Lord/branch can comprehend it, and it will be automatically destroyed upon comprehension. The reward given by the heavenly way is a mental skill. Mind technique is extremely important. Without mind technique, neither the army nor the lord can cultivate it, and the cultivation level will not increase. Only by comprehending mental techniques can troops and lords cultivate and increase their cultivation. Gu Changsheng's current state is the first level of the mortal realm, and it takes 1 year of cultivation to advance to the second level of the mortal realm. He estimates that he has learned this mental technique and continuously cultivates it every day, which is estimated to take 1 or 2 years to advance to the second level of the mortal realm. Practicing in this world is extremely slow, not just breaking through a small realm in a few days, but also breaking through a large realm in a few months. The difficulty of obtaining cultivation is beyond imagination. Given Gu Changsheng's current situation, if he only relied on the forging technique in his hand for cultivation, he would have to practice hard for at least 3 years to obtain a year of cultivation. This is still under the condition that he does not eat or drink for 24 hours of non-stop cultivation. If there is a slight slack in the middle, the time will only be longer. Of course, if the spiritual energy index of the cultivation environment is too high, the time will also decrease exponentially. Both strengthening and upgrading territories can increase the spiritual energy index. It seems that strengthening territories should be put on the agenda. Gu Changsheng looked at the forging technique and felt lost in thought. The spiritual energy index is related to the speed of cultivating troops, and it must be taken seriously. However, all of these require resources and can only be planned slightly now, which cannot be implemented yet. He put away the forging technique and decided to cultivate the troops first after nurturing them. Mind techniques belong to consumables, and cultivating troops requires hoarding a large amount of mind techniques. Let's go to the ant's nest first and see what resources are available. Thinking silently in his heart, Gu Changsheng looked at Nong Yue beside him and said, "You guard your territory first, and I will go to the nest of the demonic ants to take a look." Bu Zhengguan cannot leave the territory, otherwise he will die directly. Naturally, he cannot bring the moon to the demon ant nest. Moreover, Gu Changsheng also needs her to stay at home in the territory, otherwise during his departure, he will encounter an invasion from another tribe, and no one will command the Divine Guard Tower. The Divine Guard Tower does not know what it means to resist enemies, and when he returns home, it will definitely be gone. Okay. Be obedient to the moon. Gu Changsheng arrived at the gate of the territory, and the gate of the territory, which had less than 40 durability points, automatically opened. If possible, Gu Changsheng really wants to put the long sword tower in front of the territory gate to block it. Unfortunately, the guardian tower cannot be placed within a 10-meter radius of the territory gate. The durability of the territory gate will not automatically recover, and it requires recruiting sub-civilian units to repair. To recruit the people, it is necessary to have a dedicated barracks. Gu Changsheng hopes that this trip can secure a military camp for the people, and even if it's not enough, he can build a scroll at the God Guardian Tower. With anticipation in mind, he walked out of his territory and ran towards the crack in the distance. After spending a minute, he finally stepped into the crack. You have entered the territory of Magic Ant Queen Bamboo Garden and are launching an aggressive war. You have successfully occupied the territory of Magic Ant Queen Bamboo Garden, and won the invasion war. You have obtained 20 points of origin, 1 scroll of Magic Ant Tower construction, and 1 scroll of Magic Aphid summoning. Before Gu Changsheng could even see the scene behind the crack clearly, 2 pieces of information came to his mind. The crack disappeared instantly, and he was sent back to the grass. Is this over? He was right when he thought about it. All the magic ants had died in battle, and it would be strange if it didn't end. But the harvest was really good. I got 2 scrolls and 20 points of origin, which is a daifengshu, salad of assorted fresh vegetables. He didn't rush to check the information of the 2 scrolls, but quickly ran back to his territory. Accidents may occur outside the territory at any time, so it is safer to stay within the territory. After returning to the territory, Nong Yue chased a butterfly blindly and kept giggling. Gu Changxing laughed at this and then looked at the 2 scrolls he had just obtained. Magic Ant Tower Construction Scroll. Fan, after use, you can consume some origin points to build a Magic Ant Tower in your territory. Magic Ant Tower. Fan, Summoning Tower, you can summon magic ants to participate in battles. Surprisingly, it's a summoning tower. Gu Changxing was surprised. The summoning tower is a relatively top-notch presence among the divine guardian towers, because the summoning objects summoned by the summoning tower will always exist as long as they do not die, making it a disguised barracks. The key is that it does not require any consumption. You should know that nurturing troops in a barracks requires a point of origin, but summoning towers requires nothing more than time. For lords like Gu Changxing who have no foundation, he lacks nothing but time. This summoning tower is like a divine tower to him. Gu Changxing was overjoyed that the output of the Magic Ant Tower may not be as good as that of the Long Sword Tower of the same level and realm, but it is definitely inferior to the Long Sword Tower in causing trouble for enemies. He took a look and found that the Magic Ant Tower can also spend 100 origin points to strengthen, but he doesn't have so many origin points now, so he can only wait until later. Anyway, it can also be strengthened after construction. Without hesitation, Gu Changxing immediately built the Magic Ant Tower not far behind the Long Sword Tower. And just as he was building the Magic Ant Tower, a huge pillar of light suddenly descended from the sky over 500 meters away from him. The beam of light emitted a dazzling light, making it difficult to see what was inside. Seeking collection and pursuing reading, end of this chapter. Chapter 9. The Secret Treasure Comes to Earth. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Chapter 9. The secret treasure comes to Earth. The beam of light came and went quickly. After the light dissipated, Gu Changxing finally saw the scene inside clearly. Human territory. It is indeed a human territory, with a wooden fence and a young man, which is no different from Gu Changxing's beginning. However, the other party is clearly wealthier than Gu Changxing. The young man circled around the territory, and then Gu Changxing saw 3 towering guardian towers rising within the young man's territory. Immediately after, the boy placed 2 barracks. Quickly, dozens of wild wolves over 2 meters tall and dozens of tall and muscular men wearing leather pants with bare upper bodies emerged from the 2 barracks. Those men all had long bows and quivers behind them, with quivers filled with arrows. As soon as they appeared, the majestic men immediately flipped over and rode on the wild wolf, shouting, "Yo yo," in their mouths. Even Gu Changxing could hear them from hundreds of meters away. Wolf Cavalry. Gu Changxing couldn't help but feel a little envious. The new lord appeared to be from a well-off family, and this configuration was much more imposing than him. According to Gu Changxing's observation, it would cost at least 600 points of origin to conceive only these wolf cavalry. Wolf cavalry can definitely be considered a top-notch unit in the early stages. They not only have high mobility, but also have extremely strong capabilities in close combat and long-range combat. The only drawback is that it incurs some cost from the origin point, as their arrows must be purchased using the origin point. Of course, the wolf cavalry belongs to the mortal class of troops, and facing opponents at the level of the queen ant, no amount is useless. Gu Changxing saw each other, and the other naturally noticed Gu Changxing, but neither of them spoke. In this world, there are not only different races to be guarded against, but also fellow races to be guarded against. Even the same race is much more terrifying than the other race. However, as a newly born territory, unless it is a super wealthy second generation, it is impossible to have the power to invade others. Gu Changxing is not worried about that guy invading him. Even if he really invades, with the presence of the Long Sword Tower, the opponent won't be able to see it at all. He withdrew his gaze and looked at the newly built Magic Ant Tower. The shape of the Magic Ant Tower is an elliptical black ant egg, about 3 meters long and 1 meter high, lying quietly on the grass behind the Long Sword Tower. Magic Ant Tower. Summoning Tower Durability. 1000/1000 grade. Fan Realm. Mortal Realm, 1 level function 1. Egg laying. Can breed 1 magic ant with the same level and realm as the magic ant tower per second, with a maximum limit of 0/100. Function 2. Hard Armor. Each attack reduces durability by 10 to the power of n points. Note: n is the difference between the level of the magic ant tower and the attacker. Function 3. Promotion. Can consume cultivation points to enhance its realm. 0/365, amazing. Gu Changsheng always knew that the summoning tower was powerful, but he didn't expect it to be so powerful. This is equivalent to generating a minion for oneself every second, without any consumption, truly worthy of being a top-notch tower. He glanced at his cultivation point, 635, which was enough to elevate the magic ant tower or long sword tower to a small level. After much contemplation, he ultimately chose to elevate the long sword tower. The current function of the magic ant tower is only to produce cannon fodder, and even if it is upgraded, it is still a cannon fodder maker. Although it has helped him to some extent, it is not obvious. However, the long sword tower is different. It is Gu Changsheng's cutting-edge combat power today, and its realm has been elevated, which can directly increase the upper limit of combat power. With a decisive decision, Gu Changsheng began to take action, and soon the realm of the long sword tower was elevated to the mortal realm, triple. Except for its durability becoming 30,000, its other attributes remained unchanged, and its power could only be detected during battles. Later, Gu Changsheng put the magic ant tower into operation, allowing it to breed the magic ants. Soon, a black magic ant the size of a wild wolf appeared in front of him. Magic ant summoning object bloodline. Fan Realm. Abyssal Realm. 1 level, unable to grow on their own. Gu Changsheng has a clear idea that although this demon ant cannot grow, its combat power is the same as him, perhaps even stronger than him. However, it can be strengthened and still requires 100 origin points. He continued to let the magic ant tower nurture the magic ants, and then he took out the magic aphid summoning scroll. Magic aphid summoning scroll. Mortal, can summon a magic aphid after use. He chose to summon. The scroll in his hand turned into a burst of light particles, quickly transforming into a crystal clear, plump aphid in front of him. The aphid is 1 meter long, with a large body and a small head, making it look stunned. Magic aphids. The people bloodline. Fan Realm. Mortal Realm, 1 level honeydew. You can produce 1 serving of honeydew per day. Honeydew. After consumption, it can increase cultivation by 1 day. After use, it can restore 1 point of durability to designated city defense buildings. Honeydew. Isn't it just this guy's feces? Gu Changsheng was completely dumbfounded. So you want him to eat shit? Gu Changsheng now has a forging technique in his hand. If he comprehends it, according to the book, the cultivation speed provided by the newly learned forging technique will increase to 0.3. That is to say, after understanding the body forging technique, he can gain 0.3 days of cultivation by practicing for 1 day without eating or drinking. It takes about 3 days of hard work to achieve the effect of consuming a portion of honeydew. Although the name of this honeydew sounds nice, it is indeed the feces of the magic aphid. It is impossible for him to improve his cultivation by eating feces. He had a look of eating shit on his face, feeling nauseous. Well, it's good to use it to cultivate troops in the future. Anyway, besides himself needing to improve his cultivation, he also needs to cultivate different types of troops, which is also good. The magic aphid can also spend 100 origin points to strengthen, but Gu Changsheng thinks this thing is not worth strengthening and ignores it. I still have a barracks construction scroll left in my hand. Gu Changsheng was lost in thought. According to his talent, the barracks building scroll can be strengthened whether or not it is used, but he is pondering another issue. Now using the barracks building scroll, the obtained barracks must be a type of ordinary level barracks pool. Even if he uses talent enhancement in the future, his foundation seems to be destined to be the foundation of ordinary level barracks. If strengthened and then rebuilt, the obtained barracks must be a random one from the pool of abandoned barracks, and the foundation seems to be abandoned. There seems to be a difference between these two. Although the result of strengthening both is barren, Gu Changxing believes that there must be a difference between the two, and the difference seems to be quite significant. It's like a snake constantly strengthening into a dragon, and being born into a dragon. Although both are dragons, there must be a difference. And can snakes be further enhanced after becoming dragons? This made Gu Changxing couldn't help but think about whether his talent had a maximum enhancement limit, or whether the thing being enhanced had a maximum enhancement limit. If there is an upper limit, and the former has an upper limit, then strengthening the scroll or building it again seems to make no difference. But if the latter has an upper limit, then the order of reinforcement is very important. After some thought, he decided not to build a barracks temporarily. Now that he has no origin, building a barracks does not bring him much improvement. Let's talk about it slowly. Just then, Nongyue ran over. Lord, the Starry Sky secret treasure has been born. Bu Xingguan has the ability to observe celestial phenomena, and they can instantly know any secret treasure that has descended. Dear bosses, please collect, recommend, and continue reading. End of this chapter. Chapter 10. Provocation. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Chapter 10 Provocation. The so-called Starry Sky treasures are often born in ancient ruins or ancient ruins. After continuous corrosion over time, the formation for guarding the treasure has been destroyed, resulting in the leakage of the treasure's qi mechanism, which will be immediately perceived by the governor. The Starry Sky secret treasure may be a powerful mental and Taoist technique, a rare divine guardian tower building scroll, a barracks building scroll, or a once powerful lord treasure. Gu Changxing once saw in a book that many giants of the human race had obtained a certain anti-heaven cultivation technique in ruins when they were young, and then used these techniques to cultivate for tens of thousands of years in just a few decades, proving their way to immortality in one fell swoop. From then on, they will live and cherish forever. The Starry Sky secret treasure is the quickest way to change one's life in a different day, and there is no other way. With the appearance of each Starry Sky treasure, all lords only need to spend 100 origin points to build a void channel to enter and compete for the treasure. Of course, each relic has a self-protection formation that limits the strength of the lords and their troops entering it. Once the strength exceeds, they cannot enter it. If the strength exceeds and the intruder forcibly enters it, the secret realm will activate a self-destruct program to self-destruct and implement precise strikes on the intruder's territory. Many lords have tried to invade, but in the end, they all ended up destroying their lives. So no one dares to break through the ruins anymore. Gu Changxing looked at Nongyue and asked what level of relics. Nongyue spat out her tongue and pouted, saying, "Where's the one building the foundation? We're not playing." The ruins of the foundation level allow all lords and troops below the Golden Core realm to enter. If a newly born lord like Gu Changxing participates, he does not have the qualification to be cannon fodder. Upon hearing this, Gu Changxing immediately lost interest and said, "Then let's not make cannon fodder and focus on development. Do you see if there are any other races that we can currently invade?" There is a hate list for races, but lords cannot see it, only political officials understand it. All other races have divine towers. Nongyue checked for a while and said, "With the current strength of our territory's troops, we cannot defeat any of them. Indeed, currently there are no military camps in the territory, only the Magic Ant Tower can summon magic ants. Although the Magic Ant Tower can continuously breed magic ants, the killing speed of the opponent's Divine Guard Tower is definitely faster than that of the Magic Ant Tower. Relying on 100 demon ants in the mortal realm to launch an aggressive war is indeed a dead end. Then we can only wait for the invasion of other races." Gu Changxing waved his hand and continued, "You go and play on the side." "Okay. Rang Yu bounced and ran away. Nowadays, there are no resources at all, and Gu Changxing can only wait for foreign tribes to invade his territory. Perhaps it was because the newly born territory was relatively easy to bully. Soon, more than 70 meters in front of his territory, a crack spread out again in the void, and purple-black spiders the size of grinding discs emerged from inside. Dark purple poison spider. Race. Poison spider clan bloodline. Fan realm. Abyssal realm. One level like the demonic ants, these dark purple venomous spiders are of utmost importance in the mortal realm. Gu Changxing was quite surprised. Not long after building his territory, he had already encountered 2 waves of foreign invasion, but the young man across from him did not receive a single wave. It seems that in the eyes of these foreigners, they belong to a relatively easy-to-bully existence. That's right, there are only 3 light god towers across from him, and the wolf cavalry is even more 40 or 50. Bullying him is obviously easier than bullying the other side. But that's also good. You can increase your cultivation points. If you have better luck, you might even be able to fight back. When a foreign race comes, there is no need to follow the orders of Gu Changxing. Nong Yu controls the long sword tower and begins to swallow its sharpness. Miso, miso. 4 green rainbows pierced through the sky, and the dark purple poisonous spider had just descended from the crack when it was instantly affected by the shadow of the green rainbow sword. With a loud bang, it exploded into clusters of blood mist, leaving no bones. The ruling power of the Wild Terrace God Guardian Tower is fully demonstrated. A light that the size of a grain of rice quickly flew over the battlefield and disappeared into Gu Changxing's eyebrows. However, a large number of dark purple venomous spiders emerged from the crack, and soon a leaky spider rushed out of the crack and rushed towards Gu Changxing's territory. Watching dozens of demon ants emerge from the territory, Gu Changxing waved his hand and opened the door of the territory, shouting arrogantly. "Little ones, give it to me." Under his signal, the demonic ants rushed out of their territory and headed straight towards the crack in the distance. Anyway, the magic ant tower can give birth to a magic ant in just 1 second, and Gu Changxing doesn't feel any pain when they die, so using them as cannon fodder is perfect. Whoosh, whoosh, whoosh under the green rainbow, the demonic ants surged away, looking quite imposing. Although the dark purple poison spider was scattered by the long sword pagoda, they emerged victorious in large numbers, and a large group of them rushed in with great momentum. Quickly, the 2 sides met and then twisted together. Hiss, hiss, hiss. Various hissing sounds were heard incessantly, and on the battlefield, the jaws of the demonic ants were incredibly sharp, leaving a terrifying wound on the body of the dark purple poison spider with just 1 bite. Dark purple blood gushed out, staining the grass below red. And the dark purple venomous spider is not a vegetarian either. Its abdomen wriggles and sprays out a large amount of dark purple thread to entangle with the demonic ants. Whenever touched by those dark purple spider threads, black smoke rises from the hard shells of the demonic ants, causing them to jump up and down in pain. Moreover, the spider threads also entangle them, greatly limiting their movement. Fortunately, the number of demonic ants is now dominant, and coupled with the presence of the long sword tower as a powerful weapon in the rear, the demonic ants are slowly advancing the front line for a while. Sure enough, we still need the cooperation of different branches of the army with the Divine Guardian Tower to maximize our combat power. Gu Changxing couldn't help but mutter to himself. But soon his eyebrows sank. In the distance, dozens of wolf cavalry rushed over with great fanfare. Yo yo yo, oh oh oh, the strong men on the back of the wild wolf shouted loudly, and then they quickly took off their long bows and shot at the battlefield. Whoosh, a rain of arrows roared past the sky, like the rainstorm in midsummer, flying into the battlefield mercilessly with the cold smell of killing. She. In an instant, a large number of dark purple poisonous spiders and magic ants were shot into hedgehogs, either tragically dead or seriously injured. Gu Changxing squinted his eyes and gazed at the distant territory. The Lord gave him a brilliant smile without explaining anything. Anger surged in Gu Changsheng's heart, as the opponent not only wanted to seize this foreign stronghold, but also wanted to take away his troops. But the opponent is very cunning, and the wolf cavalry did not step into the attack range of the long sword tower. He has no way to deal with the opponent temporarily. Although he can make the demon ants abandon the dark purple spider and attack the wolf cavalry instead, there is no need. The wolf cavalry is faster than the demon ants and cannot catch up. The arrows of wolf cavalry need to be exchanged for their origin points. I don't believe you have so many origin points to exchange for arrows. After this defense battle is over, I will show you what it means to seek revenge from a villain from morning till night. The behavior of the opposite lord made Gu Changsheng grit his teeth in hatred. If the other party only kills the dark purple poison spider, he can ignore it. After all, it only has dozens or hundreds of cultivation points, and there will be opportunities to get it back in the future. And when the other party is invaded, he can also go to play the autumn breeze. At most it can be considered as mutual assistance. But the other party even killed the demonic ants. It's obvious that they were intentionally causing trouble. Can they tolerate it? Seeking collection and pursuing reading, end of this chapter.